Silence Audio presents The Thing About Clare by Imogen Clark. Performed by Karen Cass. Anna, 2015. 1. It was far too sunny for a funeral. It had been crazily warm all month, with the newspapers building themselves up into a frenzy. The headlines were now threatening death and disaster as water levels dropped. The fact that it had been the wettest spring since records began suddenly seemed to count for nothing. Anna cast a furtive glance at her fellow mourners as they stood around the open grave. Everyone seemed to have faced a similar dilemma. Dark clothing appeared by its very nature almost to be thick. Heavy overcoats, sombre suits, dingy hats. That was what one wore to a funeral by rights, and the weather should be accommodating them by raining or drizzling at the very least. A blazing sun did not create an appropriately morbid mood. Anna had had to go last-minute shopping to buy a suitable outfit. That had seemed all wrong too. Shopping should be a treat, a pleasure to be savoured, not a chore. Buying clothes for a funeral took all the fun out of it. Anna had no black in her wardrobe at all. It made her look like death warmed up, her mother had told her during her brief but intense goth phase. Once she had decided that in this matter, as in all things, her mother had been correct, she had stopped buying herself anything dark. So, with a heavy heart, she'd wandered into town in search of a black dress. She had started in the cheap budget shops. After all, she was never going to wear this dress again unless someone else decided to shuffle off in the middle of a heatwave. As she stood amongst the tightly packed racks of badly finished garments, she could hear her mother chiding her. "You can't be wearing something as cheap as that to a funeral, Anna. Have you no respect for the dead? They'll turn in their grave when they see those hems, and the yoke is set all wrong. Put it back." So she had, and headed up the high street to where the clothing, although no doubt still produced in the same unsavoury sweatshops, spoke quietly of class. There wasn't much choice. The dresses all seemed to be floaty and bohemian, in zingy oranges and reds, or mother of the bride fitted in muted pastels. Anna thought about suggesting that the funeral go with a bright colours theme, but such newfangled ideas had no place amongst the older generation.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?